couple of years back, friends of mine invited me to join them at a Christmas dinner. This was being hosted at the Bamboo Lagoon at the Marriott Hotel. Nice place, first time invitation, I dressed well, I got there on time. I realized that this was a very special place. Good food. After a couple of bottles of wine and some good food, I was anxiously waiting for the clock to strike 9. At 9 o'clock, the Polynesian dancers in grass skirts and coconut cups were supposed to come on stage and perform. 9 o'clock sharp, the performance started. As I watched them perform, I realized that my heart started palpitating. Every minute that they were on stage, my heart was palpitating. When they finished and they got off stage, they came down to say hello to the guests. And as this girl came and stood next to me, I started sweating. In order to ensure that I don't make a fool of myself and cause an embarrassment to people around me, I quickly excused myself from the table and went out of the hotel. I thought that if I closed my eyes, I could get these girls out of my mind. The girls stayed there, and my heart kept beating. I crossed the street, and I went to the pharmacy and told the guy behind the counter, "Sir, this is my story." He looked, he listened, and he walked back and got some medicine for me. While he was gone, I was looking at the mirror, and I saw that my face had become red like a tomato. While I gulped down the tablets, he told me that it is not the girls who have given you this flustered face or this palpitating heart. It's an allergy that has been triggered in your body because there was live cooking in this restaurant. I realized that, yes, I'm allergic to shellfish, and this was a seafood restaurant. Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, that almost 40% of you have some kind of an allergy or another? Most allergies are visible, like my palpitating heart, a bad stomach, vomiting, or perhaps pain in the knees, feeling dizzy, and so on and so forth. What's important is, what do we know about these allergies? Most causes of allergies can be classified into two. You have factors which are present in your body, which are the host factors, and you have those which are environmentally triggered factors. Now, what is a host factor? The ones which are passed down to you by your genes. It could be something that your mother was having when she was carrying you, or because of your race or sex and so on and so forth. You can't do anything about this. But ones which are the environmental trigger factors are those which enter your body from outside. There could be an injection, or an inhalation. A couple of weeks back, my wife had a very bad headache. This was over a weekend, and that made it even worse. Because I was taking her to the hospital and back and forth. We would go there, and she would get her Voltaren injection. She'd take a rest for some time, and she would come back home. A couple of hours later, this migraine comes back again. Again back to the hospital. Another Voltaren shot, back home. 2 hours later, again headache, back to the hospital. After 3 or 4 trips back and forth, I realized that I needed to prove to her that I was not the cause of the headache. I looked around the house, and finally I found the culprit at the top of the loft. It was the bottle of perfume that had tipped over and broken its neck. Whilst I thought my house was smelling very good, this chemical substance in the perfume had wafted through the whole house, and that had triggered her allergy. When you go to a doctor, most of the time the doctor or the nurse would ask you, do you have an allergy? That is because before they give you an injection which could contain a chemical like a sulfur or a penicillin, they want to ensure that you are not allergic to those. But there is one injection in life which you get which is without your permission. And that is when the female mosquito lands on you and stings you. And while she is sucking this blood out of your body, she, through her saliva, passes on certain proteins into your body. And this is what gives you the red patch or the itchiness on your skin. I recall an incident that happened in my college days. Most of my friends, and even today, know that I'm allergic to shellfish. This friend was a slightly mischievous one. We went for a party and we were having a great time. He decided to check my allergy. Secretly, he served me my food, and instead of chicken Manchurian, he served me prawn Manchurian. Little did he realize that I would spend the whole weekend in a hospital. Now, what causes these allergies? When you ingest a liquid or a solid that does not suit your body, it could be fish or shellfish, soya or protein, lactose or nut or peanut or whole nut or whatever. All of these things might work for some people and might not work for a lot of other people. What is important for us is to understand, and whenever we see the first sign, ensure that we remember it. When I was preparing for this speech, my son came to me and asked me, do you know what's my allergy? And I asked him, no. What? My younger brother. Now, this is an allergy which we might be able to get over with experiential counseling. But ladies and gentlemen, allergies that you have in your life have to be dealt with very seriously. If you invite a guest home, please ask them what their allergies are. If you decide to go out somewhere, please ensure that the waiter who's taking down your order writes that this guest has a peanut allergy or a shellfish allergy or whatever it might be. However tempted you might be to go to this nice fine restaurant and try that little, resist the temptation, because that little could be a little too much. Over to you.